Today, I'd love to speak with you about the end of guilt. Over the years, I've had so many clients who've been dealing with guilt. They've been carrying this emotion inside of their system for years, maybe even decades, and it's costing them more than they realize. And I've come up with this definition of guilt and a way of relating to it that I have found so many of my clients have been immensely benefited by, and hopefully it benefits you as well. Guilt is when present version you holds past you to the standard of present version you. So think about that. You as you are now, look back in hindsight. You have that benefit of hindsight's 2020 and you see your reality and then you blame yourself, you shame yourself, and you feel guilty about however it was that you showed up or didn't show up. And then you make yourself bad or wrong. And in a way, that emotion gets locked in the system and you just carry it. Now, what's the alternative? Present moment you, when you look back and you see that, what was I thinking? Why did I show up that way? Well, first of all, think about that. What was I thinking? It's a statement, a question rather, that we often will share in that moment. Whatever you were thinking felt like the right move at the time. Whatever you were thinking seemed like a good idea, or whatever you were thinking at the very least seemed like the least of two evils, where you made that decision. The very fact that in hindsight you wouldn't do the same thing again, you wouldn't have shown up the same way, you wouldn't have said or done the same thing, that's evidence that you're not the same version of you, that you've grown, that you've changed, but you keep holding yourself in this prison, in this mental box. What if you let yourself out? What type of freedom could you experience that becomes available to you when you realize I was doing the best I could with the resources that I had at the moment? I was doing the best I could given the way that I saw the world, given what I was believing at the time. And if you realize that there's things that you believed back then that you don't believe now, again, evidence that you've changed, and there's things right now that you believe that you won't believe a day, a month, a year, a decade from now, and that's okay because all you really have control over is the present moment and how you choose to show up right now. And I always tell my clients that you have an infinite amount of second chances, meaning if you don't like how you're showing up in this past moment, right now you can choose to be different. You can show up differently in your relationship. You can show up differently at work. You can show up differently with yourself. So you want to end guilt? Stop holding on to this story that I was a certain way back then, and because that was bad and wrong, I should hold on to that pain with me for the rest of my life. You let that go by acknowledging I was who I was at the time. I knew what I knew at the time. I am innocent. There's a difference between who I am and who I'm being. Who I was being at the time was the best I knew, and maybe I fell short. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to do what I can to clean that mess up if there was one that was made. But holding on to that pain is only dampening the light that I can shine into the world in the present moment. So forgive myself for judging myself for whatever it was that occurred and bring the best of who I am to the present moment. And as I know better, I can do better. That's a new possibility to step into. This can be the end of guilt. Now, often this intellectual understanding, it may or may not be enough in the sense that you could understand it, but in your body, you could still feel that heaviness. You could still feel that guilt where you go, yeah, Jamil, I get it, but it doesn't seem to really shift the internal experience. And when that's the case, it's because there's an internal block. It could be emotional, it could be mental, it could be energetic. And if that's the case, let's have a conversation. I can help you free yourself from that. And there's also a podcast that I did that really breaks it all down. If you're interested in that, just comment below and I'll send it to you. Sending you so much love. Be well.